Hey everyone, how you doing? It's Liam from Pushsquare here with our review for PlayStation 5 exclusive Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. Yep, that's right, it's the next big first-party exclusive for Sony's next generation system. What do we think about it? Well, you're about to find out, so keep watching. This review was written by the excellent Sammy Barker over on the Pushsquare website and was adapted for video by me, but enough of that, let's get started.
Ratchet? Here, my arm. And no, the Dimensionator, it... What have I done?
What have you done?
Who are you?
Someone with a lot of questions. Let's go for a ride.
If the Earth was in peril from intergalactic invaders and needed a game developer to save its arse, governments across the globe would turn to Insomniac Games. I mean, you can practically bank on the Burbank-based developer to deliver top-notch titles these days, and Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart is further evidence of that. If you can't be bothered to watch the rest of this video, know this. This PlayStation 5 exclusive action platformer is virtually flawless. In fact, so few are the faults that we may as well get them out of the way to begin with. Weighing in at a whisker over 12 hours, extend that by a couple of hours if you plan to 100% complete it, it does fall a little on the short side, especially when you consider it's commanding a $69.99 price point. It's also fairly easy. We'd recommend playing on a harder difficulty, to be honest. Aside from that though, this is comfortably the best installment in the long-running series since Ratchet & Clank: A Crack in Time. There are some disorientating Watch Dogs-esque Spider-Bot hacking minigames that we didn't particularly care for, but everything else, as we've already alluded to, is bang on. If you've enjoyed your time with Insomniac Games' lovable Lombax in the past, you'll have a blast here. The presentation is quite literally explosive too. If you've seen any of the title's trailers, then you'll know that this release is jaw-dropping to say the least. And yes, that level of fidelity holds up across the course of its duration. This is, inarguably, the best looking console game to date. Yes, it's a cliche to say this, but the developer is absolutely touching on animated movies here. It's got a simple but entertaining story to boot. Having built a Dimensionator to help Ratchet reunite with his Lombax kin, Clank is separated from his furry friend when arch-villain Dr. Nefarious intervenes and sucks the dynamic duo into an alternate dimension. It's here that Ratchet's backpack buddy forms an alliance with Rivet, the protagonist's female alter ego. The campaign divides its time between the two Lombaxes, and Rivet is so well established over the course of the release's running time that it's hard to imagine the franchise moving forward without her now. Some of the other clones fail to establish themselves quite as strongly, but Rivet is a mainstay. In fact, she's comfortably the star of this particular title. Combat refines the series' core staples of mobility and over-the-top artillery, meaning that you can now douse opponents by transforming them into greenery and then trim them down with the topiary sprinkler. Other wacky additions include the Ricochet, a pinball-inspired bouncing ball complete with retro arcade sound effects, and Mr. Fungi, a shroom-shaped alternative to Mr. Zircon. While the gameplay still relies on the strafe shooting of past installments, the DualSense implementation is transformative to the point where the game simply wouldn't be quite as good on a DualShock 4. The triggers are utilised subtly yet effectively, allowing you to feel points of resistance to perform different actions. Pair it with the haptic feedback and it's phenomenal. The title also leverages the SSD for serious set-piece moments, which transition scenes at lightning speeds. This is unlike anything that's ever been done before. A single grind rail sequence can see you toggle between 3 or 4 different environments within the span of seconds. Meanwhile, optional pocket dimensions allow the developer to get imaginative with the mechanics without subscribing to the environmental rules of the planet that you access them from. It's worth stressing, however, that this utilization of the SSD is primarily a gimmick. The set pieces are incredible, beyond anything you've ever played before, but they are still set pieces. 2 planets allow you to toggle between dimensions in real time, similar to the infamous Mansion Estate level in Dishonored 2, but beyond that, this is still a Ratchet & Clank game with some hardware-enhanced tricks up its sleeve. That shouldn't be taken as a negative, however, as this is the best Ratchet & Clank in well over a decade. A handful of sandbox levels inspired by the experimental Ratchet & Clank Into the Nexus give you a ton of extra objectives to complete if you want to spend the time exploring them, while a hearty array of collectibles will test your platforming prowess just enough to tempt you to unlock them all. The Battleplex Arena returns with new interdimensional encounters, while the Clank puzzles have been inspired by classics like Lemmings and, unbelievably, Krusty's Super Fun House. These last just long enough to leave you wanting more without overstaying their welcome. Everything else has been meticulously designed to keep you progressing, with an excellent array of accessibility options incorporated to ensure everyone can enjoy this title to its fullest. In an era where games have been releasing undercooked, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart has been polished to a perfect sheen, like the ray-traced metallic casing on Clank's outer shell. The music immerses you in each scene, the script is thoughtful and laugh-out-loud funny on occasion, and the game is just pure fun from start to finish. It never pretends to be anything else.
You think a crushing defeat is all it takes to stop me?
I mean, yes.
Well, think again!
Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart is the best game in the series since Ratchet & Clank A Crack in Time, which franchise fans will recognise as high praise. The familiar combat is elevated by outstanding DualSense implementation, while Insomniac Games' imaginative gameplay design keeps each planet interesting and engaging. It's not a particularly challenging platformer, nor is it necessarily all that original, but it doesn't need to be. This is one of those games that's just really, really good. Thank you so much for watching this review. Are you excited for Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart on the PlayStation 5? Well, why don't you get down into that comment section and leave us some letters arranged into words. I don't know why I said it like that. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like, subscribe to the channel for everything PlayStation, and I will see you next time.